First of all, clarify, Cheese Whiz, I think stays, even though I'm not sure that's even real cheese. Why are you making the cheese move right now?
Listen, we're very excited about the deal. The reality is that it actually follows really the strategy that we want to pursue with the company. We want to focus our business in the areas that we have scale and a competitive advantage. So it allows us really to, continue to focus on things like Philadelphia, Kraft singles, things where we have a huge amount of expertise, and at the same time, generate some funds in order for us to continue to drive the strategy that we launched today.
The other headline that really popped off the investor day was the $2 billion in costs that you're looking to save over the last 5 years. And my question on that is, haven't you guys been cutting costs for years and years? Wasn't this the whole 3G strategy post-split off with Mondelez? Cut, and that hasn't really worked or resulted in growth? Why cutting more?
The first thing I should say is this is not about cost cutting. In fact, it is a completely different mindset. We're actually shifting from cost cutting to efficiency. And that is a complete different way of us looking at the business. So when we think about the $2 billion, it's things that we're actually doing to find efficiency within the business. And let me just give you an example. A big part of that has to do with our procurement, how we think about that differently. So we talked about a new strategy for our media in a way for us to find efficiency between suppliers and us that allows us to reinvest back in the business, not about cost cutting. Let me give you another example. Today, we're also looking at how we are actually going to reduce the number of SKUs across our portfolio. As we go into next year, we'll have 20% less SKUs than we had just a few months ago. And the reality is that many of those SKUs were actually inefficient in our supply chain. So by us simplifying the business allows us to also drive efficiency that allows us to then reinvest back in the business.
What's the plan for the proceeds from the cheese sale?
As we talk today, for us, we're going to continue to drive our same strategy in terms of us making sure that we continue to lower down the debt and continue to invest back in the business, but all within the context of us driving sustainable, profitable growth as we launch today and as a company now ready to take a new future together.
The problem for the business, at least pre-pandemic, was always the brands, right? Whether they were resonating with younger consumers, Velveeta and Oscar Mayer and Kraft mac and cheese. And it's all becoming very much part of the pandemic diet. But what happens after that when we get back to eating at restaurants and sort of resuming life as normal, whatever that looks like? What happens to those brands?
Well, what I would say is I think that we are now in a situation in which consumers eating more at home is going to stay with us for a while. And I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be prepared for this new better that is going to come out of here as we continue the situation and circumstances we're in. Now, what we're doing right now is what we're seeing is huge amount of growth within our business in a way that is actually helping drive new households into our brands. In fact, 70% of our brands are now bringing in new households to each of them. And not only that, but we're actually seeing repeats that are even higher than our peers. So we're seeing that over 54% of consumers are not only buying us, but actually coming back over the last few months. And for us is what we're looking to do is how do we continue to keep those consumers into our franchise? And we're doing that in a couple of ways. One, we're making sure that we adjust our media to the places that are looking for us. We're also adjusting our messages based on who they are. We understand who they are, the fact that they are younger, they have higher income, they're more diverse. So all of our messages are now being curtailed to that particular consumer. At the same time, you talk to some of our brands, we're also focused on how do we take all the learnings that we have done now through us understanding better the consumer as we shift into a more consumer-centric company and taking those learnings and applying to our icon brands. So we are also in the process of also renovating many of our brands to make sure consumers understand that we are responding to the things they're looking for from products.